So I think I might have found something pretty good. Let me flick you around and show you. Morning everybody, welcome back to another early morning fossil hunt on the Yorkshire Coast. We've got a beautiful looking sunrise this morning. It's 5 AM. We're going to head down to the beach and see what we can find. I'm not expecting too much to be found this morning. It is the middle of a school 6-week holidays and the tides have been flat, but you never know what the Yorkshire Coast might throw up. So we've got a huge cliff fall that's come down here. So it's all of the sandstone stuff, which has come from the top layer right up there. There's no ammonites or anything of much interest in this stuff. You can get the occasional dinosaur footprint. Might have a little look on the way back, but right now I'm going to head round a bit further. I do apologise for filming so much of the view, but it is quite exceptional today. It's an absolutely stunning view over Saltwick. This is the Admiral von Trump, a shipwreck which is washed up next to the nab at Saltwick Bay. We're heading over to the cliffs now, over this way, and we'll see what we can find. First find of the day is this one belemnite. Hopefully there's a bit more to be found than this. These are quite common fossils here on the Yorkshire Coast, part of a squid-like creature. So unfortunately I've not found very much so far. This is the first interesting-ish find of the day, and it's just a huge coprolite within the nodule. What I'm going to do is take it back and prepare it out. I've actually never prepared a coprolite, so I'm curious to see what it'll look like. But other than that, I've not found very much at all. So we've got as first C1 DAC of the day. I'm going to take this one back and prep it. There's no point hitting them on the beach and destroying them. I prepared it straight away after I got home yesterday, and it's available on the website. It's a Perrhinoceros ammonite. So unfortunately it's been a bit of a poor day's fossil collecting. I'm looking forward to the sea getting a little bit rougher and then washing all of the rocks from underneath the slips. It's not reaching it right now, so there's just not much around, unfortunately. I'll probably do a little bit of filming tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be a bit more luck. Morning everybody, it's now the day after. Nearly morning hunt again. I'm at Runswick Bay and we're walking round to Port Mulgrave. Hopefully we do a little bit better today. It's another gorgeous early morning start. There's no one else out at the moment. It's currently about 5 in the morning. The sun has just come up. This time of year on the Yorkshire Coast, there's a lot of very slippery seaweed on most of the beaches. You need to be very careful. There's a really big ammonite trapped inside this huge septarian boulder here. You can see the cross section of the ammonite. I'm not going to bother hitting that one because it's only a partial. I'll leave it for someone else to have a go at. If you'd like to purchase your very own fossil from the Yorkshire Coast, please take a look at my website called buyafossil.com. We've just done a really big update with lots of fantastic fossils all available for purchase with shipping to most countries. Please take a look if you are interested. Thank you. Well, unfortunately I've not found very much so far. I've just got that nice fossilised shell. The sea's just not hitting the cliffs. I've said it a few times this video and I think that's the issue. The sea is just not washing about the rocks, so there's not very much to find. So I think I might have found something pretty good. Let me flick you around and show you. So what we've got here, I suspect, is a crocodile block. Now you might have to squint to have a look at the bones inside, but I suspect it is crocodile bones. It'll be quite difficult to prepare. So you can see a little cross section of a vertebra there, a crocodile vert is what I suspect. There's a few more with neural arches sticking up. I mean, it'll be a tricky prep because the bones are so small, but I'm very pleased with that because I've not found much at all today. So that's a nice find, I think. Let's see if putting it in water highlights the bones a little bit for you. So I'm at the Port Mulgrave bit now. My dad's already had a good old scout around where the sheds are and these cliffy areas, and unfortunately there's not very much knocking about today. So we're going to head back and have a look through the rocks and see if we can find anything else. At least that crocodile block makes up for a pretty unproductive session again. I'm happy because I've got something to prepare over the weekend now. I've done so much ammonite prep recently. It'll be good to get into something a little bit more difficult. So we've got a little belemnite preserved on this shale slab here. Don't think it'll chisel off. Sometimes you do get lucky and they just pop like that. Brilliant. That could have gone wrong, but luckily we've got a full belemnite. Oh, we've got a nice view over Port Mulgrave from up here. So I've just noticed a nodule which is sticking out right here. You'd thought I'd have placed that, but I've not. Wow. That looks like a corking looking nodule. Whether there's oat in it, you'd have thought there would be. I'm gonna get that cracked open right now. Hopefully you can see me. But if not, I'm tapping it open now. Still got a bit of crust on it. Well, we've got a pop, but is there going to be anything in it? Okay, so we've got a very crushed and distorted Dactylioceras. While it's the only decent ammonite I've found today, I'm going to leave it because I don't need stuff like that. So we've got another nodule here, another crusty old one. Let's give it a tap. Can you see that? In the camera setup. And we've got a split. There was one inside, but in typical fashion it's bust. What do we have here? We've got a nodule stuck in the clay. Oh, it's very stuck.
See if we can give it a swade out. Gosh. Should get my chisel out.
There we go. It's a funny shaped one, and that's what was inside. A very poorly preserved Dactylioceras. So walking back, and I've just spotted another huge belemnite. It's in the bedrock, so you're not allowed to dig these ones out. But look at the size of it. It's got a few hairline cracks, so I imagine after a few rough seas it won't last very long at all. Nice to see though. So we're just making his way back now, and my dad's just spotted a nodule in this little crevice here. So you can see the keel of the ammonite sticking out here, but we don't know whether it's going to be a complete one or if there's going to be like a chip missing out of it. Let's take it out and find out. Yep, so in typical fashion, there's a little bit blown just there. Other than that, it should be a good one. So I've just picked this up from the floor and you can see it's full of bone. Now the bone is unfortunately fish bone from the gyrosteus sturgeon-like fish. It's very common, this stuff, so I don't tend to collect it at all, but I will leave it here for someone if maybe they want to find a bit of fish bone for their own collection. So we've got a very well preserved fossil fern on this red rock. It's very hard rock, so it's not collectible, but you can probably make out the superb detail. I mean, this rock will have been wearing out for a number of years, so it just shows how hard it is that it's so pristine, the condition of it. And the leaves actually run underneath this bit of, I think it's ironstone. You've got no chance of collecting it, but I always do like to look at this particular piece every time I'm passing. I think that's everything for today's video. We're just making our way back to the car park now. Hopefully you have all enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the next one. Hi everyone, so I've just finished preparing those crocodile bones now. I've been at it all day. It was a very tricky job. It proved to be quite a pyritic nodule, and there was a number of septarian veins running through it, which made it quite a difficult one to prepare out, but let's take a look at it. Now this was initially the first vertebra that I pointed out to you on the beach, and upon preparing it I noticed that there was really small. Now there's 2 vertebrae inside here, and there's the start of what would have been a third one. I think there would have been more inside the nodule, but it's broken up over time. Crocodile bones are much rarer on the Yorkshire coast, so I'm really pleased with this piece.